Be spending a substitution with the likes of Nichols and Haynaldo.
Well, I think
if you were Frank Farina.
Perhaps not Haynaldo, but in the centre of midfield, Brisbane could certainly do with a little bit of spark. Bob Malcolm is a tried and tested centre back, and he is plugging the gap in the centre midfield, but he's not necessarily going to kick-start play. Danny Teato is moving very gingerly indeed. But even considering that, it's still, in my opinion, up to Robbie Cruz and Enrique to start having more of an impact on the game.
It's a terrible challenge by Ufuk Talay. He's shown a yellow card as well. Like a high boot against Robbie Cruz.
Well, Talay claims he won the ball. There might have been some stud showing. I reckon if it's a yellow card, that's what Matthew Breeze has seen. Caught him late.
That is a yellow card offence. Malcolm flighting it towards Moore, who won the header. Just drifting over Passfield's crossbar.
So strong in the air, Craig Moore. Of course, we've come to expect that. Wonderful heading technique. Again, just times his run. At least to the point where he wins the ball. He'll be disappointed he didn't control that header.
Sharing a joke with Fowler, but not required by Pim Verbeek tonight. The Dutchman telling Moore to get ready for next month's friendly with Holland, where Craig Moore hopes to be involved with the Socceroos again. Clever ball by Malcolm, found Van Dijk. Couldn't quite kill it with that first touch. McBreen, inventive ball searching for Fowler. Miller turning away from Griffiths. And it's pretty measured build up by the Roar. Here's Van Dijk. Carl Dodd again.
Well, they're clearing their lines well now, but it's just a matter of time for Brisbane if North Queensland can't get some sort of share of possession. Haynaldo is ready to come on. I would expect him to join Van Dijk in the centre of Brisbane's attack. Put Dodd and Roston Griffiths under more pressure. Plenty of possession as you'd expect around the halfway line, Brisbane, but they're lacking penetration.
Here's De Veer. Didn't show too much of it. Green expected a challenge to come. It didn't eventuate. Passfield let that one come to him.
It's a better kick. Got more height. Pain-killing injection at half-time seems to have done the trick for Justin Passfield.
Van Dijk again one-on-one with Griffiths.
Looked like an elbow to me. The ball from Roston Griffiths. That's how Matthew Breeze saw it.
And now the Roar can make that substitution. Robbie Cruz is the man to make way, like for like. Haynaldo able to operate down that right-hand wing. Haven't seen Haynaldo alongside Van Dijk very often. Teato just clipping it towards Moore, who won the header again. Passfield just a little casual.
Has a look down at the crack in the pitch.
That's not his best kick.
They can't just keep hacking it away, North Queensland. They've found Robbie Fowler now, but there's a numbers issue if they can't control the ball and get support forward.
Speaking of numbers issues, what about the possession in the second half? Big discrepancy in favour of Brisbane, but they're not doing much with it. 67% for them in the second half.
I think Freen will be reasonably happy. I'll just keep chipping away, Brisbane.
Miller loses out to McBreen. Now Talley has Fowler in support. Robinson's making plenty of noise off the ball. Talley.
They set that up magnificently, you know. Robbie Fowler had a look of total disinterest. Ufuk Talley edged right, and the telepathy between the two was spot on. The execution from Talley let them down.
Here's Haynaldo. Substitute looking to make an impact. Back to Malcolm, who can hit them. And he's won a corner. In his last club, Motherwell, he banged in a couple of free kicks. Some thumping drives. He is a threat from that kind of range. Fury also seeking fresh legs. Dyron Dahl and Chris Grossman about to make their entrance, but Tiato drives the corner again, looking for more. Passfield didn't quite do enough, did he? He won the goal kick-off, Haynaldo, but wasn't convincing.
No, he wasn't, but the score's still 0 for Brisbane Roar. The changes are coming for North Queensland. Daniel McBreen, well done. Hard work. Put himself about, and Dyron Dahl will have the same brief, you'd imagine. And he has been effective off the bench, Dyron Dahl, and will be looking to make up for his last-minute penalty in Adelaide last week.
Chris Grossman, the first man on. Played 7 games in 3 seasons with the Roar, of course, Brisbane boy. David Williams is the other man to make way for Dyron Dahl, who has been talked about switching codes to a rugby union for the line-out throw, or even basketball, according to James Robinson, after his handball in the box last week. But it has been light-hearted banter at training during the week. They know that he got them back into the game as well.
Nevertheless, he'll be stinging to make a positive impact. Another one for his team. He did get the goal which got them back into the game. So Ian Ferguson has put Dyron Dahl onto the right-hand side, and he's obviously worried about De Vere on occasions, and certainly Josh McLaughlin getting up on that left-hand side, and Dyron Dahl, more physical, a better physical matchup against that play.
Cadros closing down Enrique, who lost control.
Big job for Chris Grossman as well, former Brisbane Roar, or Queensland Roar as they were. David Williams did threaten. He really threatened.
He really is kicking every ball at the moment, Ian Ferguson. Living every moment, on the verge of his first 3 points as manager. Still a long way to go though, with 10 men out there. He's desperate for it tonight. Not going to stop talking until the 90 minutes plus stoppage time elapse. Tiato and Breeze at loggerheads now.
You'd have paid that in the AFL. Matthew Breeze suggesting that Danny Tiato was using the back of an opponent for added leverage. Looks spectacular. Tiato's lifted a gear. Just in a couple of the last challenges, he's lifted a gear. He's sensing a little bit of urgency is required.
Dahl won the header well. Fowler, dangerous inside the box. Broke invitingly for Mundy, but he gives it away to Talley. It's a nice idea as Grossman was stepping into the box.
A good player, 2 poor passes from Ufuk Talley. That one to Chris Grossman, and the last one when he was forward, when he looked to release Robbie Fowler. That would have been quite something if they could have connected. Important for Talley, his quality, his experience. His team has done so well to hang on since 30 minutes. Let's not forget they've been down a man. Since then, Brisbane have rarely threatened. North Queensland have been stout. But they've still got a long way to hang on.
Beautiful ball by Miller. Haynaldo's in. Look who's there to clean up again. Carl Dodd.
But better from Brisbane. Good penetration down that left-hand side. Good smoothness from Heinaldo. Good work from Carl Dodd again.
Miller starting to orchestrate things in midfield. Almost put Tale on his backside. Tiato in towards Van Dyke. Header won again by Carl Dodd.
Poor touch, Dyron Dale. They're the pressure valves that need to be released with a good bit of technique. Carl Dodd again. He's been immense in the heart of the North Queensland effort.
Tiato, bit of room to move into, finds Van Dyke, but the offside flag is up. Casual by Van Dyke, shouldn't have been caught out there.
Good decision, assistant referee. Poor play again from a good player. It's a couple of times now Serge Van Dyke's been caught offside in this game.
Strong header by Moore, giving away a few inches there to Dahl. Robinson, first time to Dahl. Tried to play the 1-2 with Fowler. Moore with a word to Breeze about the way Dahl gets his elevation. Dahl won the free kick at ground level off Mundy.
Use of the body by Dyron Dale. Impetuous defending from Matt Mundy.
Only 3 men forward for Tale to aim at. Dahl, Fowler and Robinson. Not really that encouraging, so he flights it to Fowler and Tiato across to concede the corner. That's a great result.
He's definitely lifted a gear though, Danny Tiato. There's no doubt his experience is telling him that his team needs a spark, and the last 5 minutes he's been jumping around, really putting the opponents under pressure, trying to lift his own teammates to something more convincing.
Ready again, being put under pressure by Griffiths. Fowler drives it only as far as Van Dyke. Again, can't get past the first man. Saw Nichols at the bottom of screen being prepared to come on. Dahl trying to slip it through to Robinson. Good pressure applied by Dahl, forcing McCloggin into that hurried clearance. And that's cool from Griffiths. Dodd being closed down by a couple. They're playing it out from the back here, the Fury. Risky stuff, and Dodd eventually found Fowler. Oh, Robinson. And McCloggin sliding in this time. Robinson dealing with it with a smile, but McCloggin still can't escape going in the book.
Well, again, you've got to pay credit to North Queensland. There's a real composure about them, isn't there, Brenton? Roston Griffiths there, just a little ball with the outside of his foot to beat the front line, and then Carl Dodd releasing Chris Tadros, and they work their way up to the centre field. Matt Mundy making way for Mitch Nichols. And I think that has to be the building block from North Queensland for here. Of course, if they're under pressure, they need to clear their lines, but they can reduce the amount of pressure they're under if more often than not they can keep the ball. And they've shown in this match, even without Paul Kohler on the field and being the man down, that they can move the ball around and keep possession. Here's the yellow card on Josh McCloggin.
In the meantime, Bob Malcolm's conceded another corner. And there's the frustration evident for the Raw captain.
All that frustration if North Queensland convert from this. It was a no pressure situation. They've put themselves in the spotlight again. Nice work from Dyron Dahl.